Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you a stitch tutorial. It's a beautiful stitch. Easy as can be, to tell you the truth. It's just a one row repeat. And it's the same on both sides. Really nothing beats a one row repeat. That looks the same on both sides, does it? It's so easy. It's so easy. So many uses for this. As you can see, it's a pretty solid stitch, I would say. See a little bit of my hand through there, but very, very nice for blankets, sweaters, scarves, placemats. You could use it for anything. I could go on and on, but you can tell by looking at it that it's a stitch that's going to be easy. It's going to work up quickly, and you can make it for anything that you want. You could use it for anything that you want to use it for. So remember, this is only a stitch tutorial, so I will just be showing you how to make this stitch. You can do with it what you choose. So I'm going to roll this up and set to my sample to the side. So this stitch that I'm getting ready to show you is called the knotted half double crochet. Had a lot of requests for this one. So we're going to do it, and you're going to see how easy it is. So for my sample there that you see, I used Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, which is a medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic, and the color that I used is Deep Teal. Of course, you can use any yarn that you want depending on what project you are using this stitch for. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I did use the size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Now, the knotted half double crochet is done in any number of stitches. Again, that makes it exceptional. That means you can use it and mix it with any other stitch. Even if the other stitch has a specific multiple, you can mix this with it because it requires no multiple. So you can use any number that you want. Again, like I said, that makes it that much more special. It's a stitch that has everything going for it. I really like it a lot. I actually made a hat with it. I'll put a link below. Well, I used the stitch in the hat. And I'll put a link to that hat below, and it'll teach you that specific tutorial will teach you how to make this stitch, the knotted half double crochet, in the round. Right now I'm teaching you the back and forth method. Okay, so whatever you're making, you get your chain count. Remember, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to count your stitches. Just roll with it. However big you want your blanket, however big you want your scarf, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you on a smaller scale. So once you get it as big as you want it to be, what we're going to do is we're going to do row 1. And we're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So we don't count the one that's on the hook. So 1 and 2, and we're going to single crochet into that second stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work across, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch of the chain. Just like this. So row 1 is 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of our row. Alright, so I have made it to the end of row 1, and why don't we go ahead and begin row 2. So we're going to chain 1, but you don't want to chain real tight because we're going to be going back into that chain 1. And then we're going to turn our work. Just like that. Now, this second row 2, this is what we're going to do for row 2. We're going to go back into this very first stitch right here. All right, this first one, we are going to yarn over, go into it, and drop a loop. We got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and drop a loop. Now you can see that we have 5 loops on our hook. We want to yarn over and go through all 5 loops. Don't do any chains or anything like that. No chains or nothing to lock it into place. What we're going to do now is yarn over, and we're going to go directly into the stitch that we just went into. We're going to drop a loop, and we're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch. Drop a loop, 5 loops, yarn over and go through all 5 loops. If you take a quick peek, you've already done 2 knotted half double crochets. See how easy that is? Let's do it again. So don't do no change. Remember, it's very important not to chain afterwards. You yarn over and we go right back into the same stitch that we just ended in. Drop a loop, and that will give you 3 loops. Yarn over and go into the next stitch. Drop a loop, which will give you 5. Yarn over and go through all 5 loops, and there's another one completed. Again, we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the same stitch that we just went into. Drop a loop, and that gives you 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch. Drop a loop, which will give you the 5 loops you need to yarn over and go through all of them, which completes that knotted half double crochet. Wait till you get to going on this. Yarn over, it goes really fast. Yarn over, go into that same stitch that we just finished in, drop a loop, you got your 3 loops, yarn over and then go into the next stitch again, drop a loop, got your 5 loops this time, and then we're going to yarn over and go through all 5, and you just completed another. Now we're going to keep repeating this pattern until we get near the end of the row. There is something a little bit different we do have to do at the end of this row. I'll show you what it is when we get there. Nothing hard, nothing hard. I mean, once you get this down, you'll be booking it. You can make a scarf in no time. So I'm going to continue this until I make it near the end of the row, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 2. And I did my knotted half double crochet. Now right here, this is the only row that you have to do this on. It appears that there is 1 stitch left, but actually in the beginning, when we first started row 1, we did a single crochet in the 2nd chain from our hook. That chain, that very first chain that we skipped, is right here. It's going to count as a stitch on this row, because otherwise you're going to lose a stitch when you do your half double, knotted half doubles. Okay, it's just this row only. All right, so we're going to count this chain 1, you know, from the beginning as a stitch. So what we're going to do, we still have 2 more knotted half double crochets to do. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the same one that we just ended into and drop a loop. Got your 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and go into the one that would appear to be the last stitch and drop a loop. And there's your 5 loops. Yarn over and go through all 5. But since we're going to go into this chain here at the end, we're going to do 1 more knotted half double. So we're going to yarn over and go into this stitch that we just went into and drop a loop, and that gives you your 3. Then we're going to yarn over and go into that final chain there at the end, and that gives you your 5 loops. Yarn over and go through all 5. Now that's the only row that you have to do that on. That's because I started on a base of single crochet, which I usually always start my stitches on. Makes it look better at the bottom. All right, so now we're going to start row 2, which is the repeat row for the whole pattern. All right, so we are going to chain 1 loosely and turn our work. Now we're going to work right back into this chain 1 space right here. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go right back into that space. See it right here where we chained 1? And draw up a loop. And now you got your 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and go into that first knotted half double and draw up a loop. And now you got your 5. We're going to yarn over and go through all 5. And then we're going to repeat. We're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the same stitch that we just ended in. Drop a loop. Got your 3 loops. Yarn over and go into the next one. Drop a loop. Now you got your 5, and we can yarn over and go through all 5. And if you look, you've already done 2 knotted half double crochets. And this is what we're going to repeat till we get near the end of the row. yarn over, go back into that same stitch that we just ended in, draw up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, 5 loops, yarn over and go through all 5, just like that. Repeat, yarn over and go into the same stitch that we just ended in to get you 3 loops, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, draw up a loop. Now you got 5, yarn over and go through all 5. So I'm going to continue this until I get to the end of my row. I mean, really, once you get this down, you'll be booking it. I'm serious. It works up fast. You would think it being a half double that it would not. But it does. And the half double is my least favorite stitch. But I do like the knotted half double. Alright, I'm going to continue and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row in 1 split second. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 2 and you can see I have a knotted half double left that I have to do. So I'm going to yarn over, go back into the same stitch that I just went into, draw up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and go into that chain 1 there, space there at the end. Drop a loop, that gives me 5, yarn over and go through all 5. Now I would probably advise you for the first few rows and until you get the hang of it really good to make sure you count back and forth, just so you have you should have the same number of knotted half doubles at the end of every row. Sometimes the ending and the beginning can get a little tricky at first, but you get the hang of it. You're good to go. But I do advise to count every row, just till you feel like you're comfortable with it. So let's go ahead and repeat row 2 again. Remember, it's just a repeat of what we just did. So we're going to chain 1 a little bit loosely and we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to start by going back into that chain 1. So we're going to yarn over and go right into that space right there. Drop a loop. It gives me my 3 loops. Then I'm going to yarn over and go to that first knotted half double to give me my 5, and I'm going to yarn over and go through all 5. And then I'm going to repeat what we've been doing. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch that we just ended in, drop a loop, 3 loops. Yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, 5 loops, yarn over, go through all 5. Just like that. So now we're just going to repeat until we get to the end of the row. This is one of those stitches you can watch TV while you're working up your project. Alright, I'm going to continue in this pattern and I will meet back up with you when we make it to the end, and I'll show you how to end it again. Alright, I've made it to the end and you can see that I still have to do 1 more knotted half double crochet because I got to go into this chain space here. So I'm going to yarn over and go back into the stitch that I just went into to give me my 3 loops, and then I'm going to yarn over and go into the top of this stitch here. See that? That gives me my 5 loops, and I'm going to yarn over and go through all 5. There we go. That was just a repeat of row 2. And that's what we're going to keep repeating. Remember, very important to count your knotted half double crochets at the end of each row until you feel comfortable that you're ending and starting correctly, because it can be just a bit confusing at first. Just remember to chain loosely. Remember, I'm just repeating row 2. And your first knotted half double crochet starts in that chain 1 that we just did. We yarn over and we go into it, drop a loop, and then we yarn over and go to the first knotted half double and go through all of them. And then we just repeat the knotted half doubles all the way across. Alright, I'm going to show you how to end it one more time. When you make it to the end, you know, some would think, you know, that this was finished. But if you look closely and you count your knotted half double crochets, you will see that you are missing one on the end. So you got to make sure you do this last one. So we're going to yarn over and go into the stitch that we just finished in and draw up a loop to give you your 3 loops. And then we're going to yarn over and go into this space right here, that chain space right here, draw up a loop, and that will give us our 5 loops. Yarn over and go through all 5, and that will finish out our last knotted half double crochet. How cool is that? That's super cool. And after a few repeats, it will look like this. Very, very beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope that you were able to follow along. Remember, it's a beautiful stitch. You can use it for anything because it has no multiple. It's a nice solid stitch on it. You know, I wouldn't consider it an extreme yarn eater. Probably mid. And like I said, 1 row repeat, same on both sides. You cannot beat it. So if you did enjoy this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, because I do have over 1,000 crochet tutorials. They are all free for you to enjoy. I have anything and everything that you could ever want to make. And please don't forget to hit that thumbs up and leave me a comment below. That really helps me out. If you make anything out of this, please come show me on my Facebook page. I'll leave a link to that below in the description box. And until next time, have a good day. Bye, guys.